The shift towards active learning, I think, has overall a huge impact. From what I understand, there is research to support this, that students perform better in active learning classrooms. But I've personally seen that the students I've worked with seem much more confident and are usually more able to answer questions when they are asked. So I do think that the active learning approach does result in stronger students overall.
So the classes were different in that the students are the ones that are really being hands-on with the material. I'm more of a guide and a mentor versus the instructor who's up there delivering notes and content for them to just learn the first time. So this is different because they've seen the material and now it's about them interacting with the material.
The interactions between the professors and students in active learning, there's a reduced barrier of communication between a student and a professor. In a lecture, the only time you really get to talk to the professor is when you raise your hand to answer a question. Whereas in active learning, there's so much time when you're just working on a problem, the professor might just come over and you can just have a conversation, whether it's about physics or not. And that's really fun to see that the students are actually developing a connection, because that also extends to me as a learning assistant. Same thing happens to me. They feel more comfortable talking to me about things, and they're not as scared to show up to office hours.
I've noticed a lot more interaction between the students where, rather than asking me a question directly, students will often chat together and try to figure something out beforehand.
This is a course that can support different learning styles. So I started using visual aids. I realized that I need to use the visual aids for this course because it will help the students to retain the material more because they are actually engaged with the material.
So tried to gauge what I thought would supplement their learning and be most helpful. And so sometimes I would create my own materials, like I would create worksheets or graphic organizers. I would create different activities because when doing those things, that was what I would really notice helped bolster the students' learning. And so when it comes to different techniques, I would try to do different activities. Sometimes it would be discussion-based activities. Sometimes it would be actual scavenger hunts, like having them like move around the actual room. Sometimes it would just be a simple come up to the board and present, how you would handle this problem. So I tried to vary my techniques to make sure that I was reaching different learners and different backgrounds.